The first time it happened, I thought it was a mistake. It was late, almost midnight, the kind of quiet where even the refrigerator thumb feels loud. Then I heard it. 3 soft knocks. Not aggressive, not urgent, just knock, knock, knock. I froze on the couch. For a second, I wondered if it came from upstairs, maybe the neighbor. Then it came again. Knock, knock, knock. My front door. I stood up slowly, my heart already beating faster than it should have been. I checked the clock. 11:47 p.m. Who knocks on someone's door at almost midnight? I walked toward the door and looked through the peephole. Nothing. The hallway outside my apartment was empty. I waited a few seconds. Still nothing. I opened the door. The hallway lights buzzed quietly above me. Long shadows stretched across the carpet. No one there. No footsteps. No elevator sound. Nothing. I closed the door and laughed to myself. Probably kids, I muttered. But deep down, something felt strange, because the knocks had sounded deliberate, like someone who knew exactly where I lived. The next night, it happened again. Same time, 11:47 p.m. 3 knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I opened the door immediately this time. Nothing, just the empty hallway. The third night, the same thing. Fourth night, again. Always the same pattern. 3 knocks, 11:47 p.m. No one there. After a week of this, I installed a small camera above my door. Nothing fancy, just one of those basic security cameras. I wanted proof. Either someone was messing with me, or I was losing my mind. The first night the camera was on, I waited. 11:46. 11:47. Then, knock, knock, knock. I ran to the door and opened it. The hallway was empty. My heart pounded as I pulled out my phone and checked the camera recording. The video showed my door clearly, the hallway, the lights, everything. But when the knocks happened, no one was there. No hand, no person, just the sound. 3 knocks, coming from my door. I watched the footage 3 times. My stomach tightened, because something about it felt intentional, like someone was trying to reach me, but couldn't. After 2 weeks, the knocks started getting into my head. Every night, I waited for them. Every night, they came. 11:47. 3 knocks. But something else started happening. Memories. Old ones. Memories I hadn't thought about in years. At first, they were random. A college classroom, a parking lot, a rainy evening outside a hospital. Then, one night after the knocks happened again, a name suddenly appeared in my mind. Daniel. I hadn't thought about Daniel in almost 10 years. Daniel was my best friend in college. We did everything together. Classes, road trips, late-night talks about the future. Back then, we thought we were unstoppable. Then, everything changed. It happened the night we graduated. We were driving home from a celebration. I had been drinking. Not a lot, just enough that I shouldn't have been behind the wheel. Daniel kept telling me to slow down. I remember him laughing at first. Then he stopped laughing. Hey, seriously, man, slow down. But I didn't, because I thought I was fine. Because I thought nothing bad could happen. Because when you're young, you believe consequences belong to other people. Then the car slid. Rain, wet asphalt, headlights, a scream, the sound of metal, and silence. Daniel survived, but his life never went back to normal. I hadn't spoken to Daniel since the accident. Not really. At the hospital, he barely looked at me, and I couldn't blame him. His leg had been crushed. 3 surgeries, months of rehabilitation. His dreams of becoming a firefighter, gone. I tried calling him later. He never answered. Eventually, I stopped trying. It was easier to pretend the past was finished, easier to move to another city, easier to build a new life where no one knew what I had done. But the knocks kept coming. Every night, 11:47. 3 knocks. Until one night, something inside me broke. After the knocks, I opened the door and said it out loud. "I know this is about Daniel." The hallway was silent. My voice sounded small in the empty space. I should have apologized properly. Still nothing. I should have gone back. The words felt heavy in my chest. I should have stayed. For the first time since the accident, I cried, right there in the doorway, because I realized something terrible. I had spent 10 years running from guilt, but guilt doesn't stay in the past. It waits, patiently. The next night, the knocks came again. 11:47. Knock, knock, knock. But this time, I was ready. I grabbed my coat and left the apartment. Instead of opening the door, I went downstairs, outside, across the street, and I waited. The night was cold and quiet. The building lights glowed softly in the dark. Then I saw someone standing on the sidewalk across from my building, watching the entrance. A man. He leaned slightly on a metal cane. My chest tightened immediately. I knew that posture. I knew that silhouette, even before I saw his face clearly. Daniel? He didn't move. For a moment, we just stared at each other across the empty street. Then he spoke. "You finally figured it out." We sat on a bench outside the building. Neither of us spoke for a while. Finally, I asked the question that had been haunting me. Why the knocks? Daniel stared at the ground. "I didn't know how else to get you to open the door. You could have just knocked normally." He shook his head. "I tried once. You didn't answer." I thought about all the nights I had ignored the doorbell because I was busy or tired. Daniel continued. "I didn't want revenge." His voice was calm, but heavy. "I just needed to know something." "What?" He finally looked at me. "Whether you ever thought about that night." The truth was, I thought about it every day, but I had never said it. "I did," I whispered. "I still do." Daniel nodded slowly. The streetlight reflected in his eyes. "I know. You cried tonight." I looked at him confused. "How did you know?" He pointed toward my building. "I saw you through the hallway window." Then he smiled slightly. Not angry, not bitter. Just tired. I guess I just needed to hear it. The silence between us felt different now. Not heavy, just quiet. Finally, Daniel stood up, leaning on his cane. "Take care of yourself," he said, and then he walked away down the street. I never heard the knocks again, but sometimes late at night, I still wake up at 11:47, and I wonder how many doors in life we avoid opening until someone forces us to face what's behind them.